the whole central banking system was based on a charade or a Ponzi scheme, pyramid scheme in many ways. So that's why, although I'm highly critical of the system on my show, I'm very critical of it. It's not because I think I think it's because we need to get back to some basic form of a distributed model of distributing both risk and reward. And this is what we're doing. And just quickly, the first of the how is structure? Well, I think very honest with registration I can't get in. So we'll be up and running in time to support Galloway and run for one year, and I think it's 20,000 starting to very exciting.
Some it doesn't want to get involved in banking future. Like, how simple is it? And what can they do? Should they just sign up and take £10 and just do it to get involved in the process? So, like, when you meet someone on the street and tell them what you do, what's the next step? Well, the two different types of people that we're often do effectively. We're trying to get the British public to understand that you don't have to be rich to be an investor. And that essentially we're all dragons, we're all angel investors, and they can all decide and we all participate if we want them to happen in a big way. So we always say, the investors are completely, they're all qualified, they can play a video, they can look at the pitch. If they're interested in buying shares in a company, we need to put them through a bit of compliance to make sure they understand the risks involved in investing. They understand what the product is, how they make their money, and what the risk of it is. And then they can download the business plan, they can look at the financial model, they can ask questions of the entrepreneur. And here's the thing, when you put a business under the scrutiny of hundreds of potential investors, there's always one person that asks the question that the other people didn't know to ask. So essentially it's crowd diligence. And many people say, well, don't we need a venture capitalist and a sophisticated investor to do that? Well, of those hundreds of thousands of people that are going to see this pitch, you're going to have someone that has insight that venture capitalist might not have. And you rely on each other in order to do the diligence. And if the entrepreneur has been creative in terms of, lying about it, it's going to come up, their reputation's going to be down. So when you put a lot of traffic to it, it's keeping things on. And secondly, if you're a business seeking funding, then the process that we go through is we've tried to replicate the same process that was used in an investment bank to do a public offering. So there used to be a very there still is, a very well-defined process to raise billions for large companies. And that is, you come to an investment banker like me in the day, used to pay me $250,000 up front, and then we used to take a 5% equity, 5% of whatever they raise, and then 5% carry-on fee. And we'd spend 9 months getting them what we call IPO ready to go public.
All right, so you streamline this process, basically.
So now what we've done is we've taken all of those processes, stripped out all of the costs, made it accessible to people that want to invest online, and over a 4-week period, get them investment ready, so that they put their best pitch on the platform, do the due diligence that's required to make sure there's nothing fraudulent, and then the key difference with a venture capitalist and with an angel investor is they're filtering for what they think is a good idea. We're not filtering for what we think is a good idea. The crowd are deciding whether they put their capital.
So efficient market, the market decides that.
They bring up an interesting idea, which is, I guess it's analogous to open source software. Open source software, Linux, which came around, and we had people contributing code in an open way, and it created a product that was a Microsoft Slayer, essentially, the Linux platform. So similarly, that's interesting you're saying, so the due diligence is open source due diligence.
Yeah, so you have open source due diligence. Now we do some stuff up front. Where we think our responsibility comes in is firstly making sure they are who they say they are and doing a fraud check. And secondly, making sure that they are what we call investment ready. And investment ready means that they've got their best, clearest, not misleading pitch on video. They've got the business plan that covers the key points that people need to know before investing. They've got a financial model that at least makes sense to them and makes sense, and then the crowd determine whether it does make sense. But our duty is to make sure that they're presenting all the information. If they get through that process, then they can pitch on the site. But what we want to do is we want to make sure they've got their best pitch online, so that the business doesn't look. Some platforms you see someone rocking out an iPhone and pitching the business, actually a really good business, but it comes across crap.
When I was a broker around Wall Street in the 1980s,
You're a web
You were, yeah, I remember.
It was a Bankers Trust, about 90s for me.
Yeah, when we were doing the IPOs, they circulated the red herring,
Yeah.
which is a preliminary prospectus. And in the preliminary prospectus, which is the estimates and use of funds, at that time, it was against the rules to have even color photos.
Okay.
Because it was considered an inducement to buy. This is before CNBC, before this idea of the Facebook IPO was preceded by a big budget Hollywood film about the founder. Whereas 25 years ago that would be illegal. That would be considered an enormous